Okay, so I'm going to greet you guys first the way, the mannequin on the, that video you saw was greeted. So, hello. Welcome to Hot Naija Gist. I said I was going to be back. I said on Wednesday that I would be back, and I did it. Fine, I know that it's only God that says it and does it, okay, but apparently I'm following in God's footsteps. So I said it and I did it. I'm back. It's awesome to be back. It's awesome not to have to wait for a space of 7 days. It's awesome to be back every 2 days. Welcome to Hot Naija Gist on Dexterity TV Entertainment. If you're just joining us for the first time, you have been sleeping on a bicycle all this while. But then, welcome to the family of the Gisters. This is Hot Naija Gist. We of course give you reviews, previews, what have yous of things that have been happening in the entertainment scene. Now, I was here on Wednesday. Today is Friday. Okay, so between Wednesday and Friday, lots and lots of things have happened. Now, for those of you who think that, entertainment cannot thrive, for those of you who think that people who talk about entertainment just, they don't have much to say if they have to do it every 2 days, you are wrong. You are wrong, because lots of stuff have happened between that time and this time. And let me clear the air first by saying that today we're going to be doing lots of shades. It's like people have been shading each other. I brought the P-Square issue to you on Wednesday. It has still continued. Personally, I am tired of hearing about those brothers. Can they just give it a rest? But of course, I'll be telling you what I've learned about them. Also, different celebrities have spoken about them. And Tonto Dike has resurfaced in the news. Yes, Auntie Tonto is back. The ex-wife of Mr. Oladunni Olakunle Churchill. There was this banter about the domestic issue stuff and all of that. But then they are back in the news again. For what reason? Of course, I'll be telling you on the show. Different things like that. And of course, different videos. Now, I actually was going to start with a particular one. But let me start with this one for your politics-loving fans. INEC has revealed the date for 2019 presidential and National Assembly elections. Yes, the date has been released. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has revealed the official dates for the scheduled 2019 presidential elections as well as for the National Assembly elections. Now, the announcements were made yesterday following the first regular quarterly consultative meeting with the RECs at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. Now, the tweets go as follows. They may show on your screen, they may not show on your screen, but keep up with me. Okay, this one, the first one says, the first one says, above all, the 2019 Nigeria decides general elections is exactly 505 days away from today. So for today, it makes it 504 days. How many of you used 504? Or how many of you, were around when 504 was like the rave of the moment? Let me continue reading, of course, the tweets. They also said, so far, 2.7 million citizens have registered in the ongoing exercise, out of which 1.6 million, that's 58%, are male, while 1.166 million, 42% are female. All right, they also went on to say that the presidential and the National Assembly elections have been fixed for Saturday, 16th February 2019. So there you have it. The presidential and National Assembly elections have been fixed for Saturday, 16th February 2019. That's where we're going to be having the elections in Nigeria. You have it right there on your screen. Okay, so for those of you who have been bugging the INEC, for those of you who have been disturbing the INEC, asking them when the elections will hold, there you have it on the 16th February 2017. I remember the year that election was on February 14th. It was hilarious. Okay, the elections were on February 14th, and that was like a very good excuse for guys to say, my dear, I can't take you out for Valentine's Day because, today's elections and I have to go and vote. I have to participate in the politics of my country. Okay, guys, so election is not February 14th this time around. You have nothing to lie about. But let's move on with other stories. Now, this is moving on to sports. Nigeria wins FIBA Africa Club hosting rights. A couple of weeks ago, I brought FIBA stories to you. That's about the Nigerian ladies, but this time around it's about Nigeria as a country winning the FIBA Africa Club hosting rights. It says Nigeria will host an international basketball competition for the first time in 10 years after winning the bid for the 2017 FIBA Africa Club Championship zonal elimination finals. Says the hosting right of the event, which took place in Togo, was awarded to Nigeria Basketball Federation, that's the NBBF, by FIBA Africa Zone 3 after it met all the criteria set for prospective hosts. This is according to the Vanguard newspaper. Says Musa Kida, the president of the NBBF, said, having been out of the international circulation for the past 1 decade, it was high time Nigeria claimed her place in Africa as the giant that she truly is. Now, a song is coming to my mind. It says, he added that clubs participating in the eliminating series will only be worried about international transportation, accommodations, and payment of allowances for their players. Now, international transportation, note, accommodation, and payment of allowances for their players. Okay, so this probably means that the clubs participating will be the ones sorting out accommodation needs for their players, because we have this habit in Nigeria when we have international countries coming around to do stuff, we host them. It's really good for us to host, of course. We provide their accommodation, we provide feeding, we provide, we even almost provide their transportation allowances. But the point is, when we go to those countries, to do all of those stuff, they don't do that for us. We sort out our accommodation by ourselves. We sort out feeding by ourselves. We have, of course, seen instances where the Super Eagles apparently had to stay a very long while at the airport. I can't remember which country exactly is that. They had to stay a very long while at the airport because their accommodation was not provided for. Okay, so hopefully the participating clubs will be paying for their own accommodation. I said the event is slated for October 19 to 29. And according to him, it was also part of plans to rewrite the story of Nigeria basketball as a force to reckon with in Africa. Meanwhile, the Federation is also considering bidding for the 2017 FIBA African Women's Club Championship, slated to take place in November. Note that, of course, recall that Nigeria won the FIBA Women's Club Championship. I reported that on the show a couple of weeks ago. All right, so that's it about FIBA. Nigeria is going to be hosting FIBA Africa Club. That's the games. Nigeria is going to be hosting it from October 19 to 29, so it's going to be a very busy time. Of course, they will later on what do we call it? The NBBF will of course be disclosing the venue and the times of all of the matches, so we can go and watch. I'm a particular fan of basketball that does not know how to play basketball. Anyways, I of course said when we started that Tonto Dike is back in the news. I'm going to start with story number 2 before I start with story number 1. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm just doing it that way, okay? I'm going to start with this story. Now, apparently, Uche Jumbo spoke with Tonto Dike on social media, and she has waded into the fight between Tonto Dike and Azuka Ugujuba. Apparently, there's been an issue. I will, of course, educate you further on that particular issue. But Uche Jumbo has asked Tonto Dike to stay calm. She left a comment on Tonto Dike's Instagram page, and she said, T, please let this go. You owe no one an explanation. T, please let this go. You owe no one an explanation. And actually, there was a tweet as regards that one. I will be reading that particular tweet to you in a bit. Okay, she says, T, please let this go. You owe no one an explanation. And Tonto Dike said, at Uche Jumbo, sisterly, please take time out to watch Azuka's interview. I have grown above all of this. I am in a happy place and things are going great, but I wouldn't sit down and watch a fellow woman slander me because she got brided. I want to think that is bright. I have only granted one interview, but almost 10 from the other end. I have been too quiet, sisterly. It is not by force to be married, nor do I owe anyone an explanation. I would rather be single than stay in an extremely physical, verbally, and spiritual abusive marriage. She went on to say different things, of course, about it. Now, I know some of you are wondering, who is Azuka? What is the problem? Azuka is actually a journalist, and there's been issues with her saying that she has revealed some things about Tonto Dike's marriage, and basically she's trying to point to the fact that Tonto Dike is guilty of that. Now, lots of steam is rising from my head right now because this is a very hot story. But we'll go on and check a video. We'll go on a break. Now, this video, I think last two episodes, I brought different videos of the Man's Not Hot. But apparently, our favorite Uncle Josh has decided to give us his own remix, the hymnal version of Man's Not Hot. Let's go watch that one. When we come back, I'll tell you, of course, what went down between Tonto Dike and Azuka. Stay with us.
Must not. My sister must not. She tell me to take off my jacket. I tell her must not, must not, must not. My sister must not. She tell me to take off my clothes. I tell her must not. For the thing those crack. Hey, pop 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 pop. Skibidi pop pop. Pum pum tum kum kum dum. Hey, my sister, skia. Tum kum 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 pum. Hey, tum tum. I say must not, must not, must not. She tell me must not. She tell me to rinse off my jacket. Right there, I must not. No fornication. Must not out in the toilet. Must not.
I don't know why. I find this guy extremely funny. I find him very creative. His style of comedy is ingenious. Okay, people do not do this one. He takes something and twists it. I particularly like his Ankara gown and his head tie. Really funny, just too funny. That's his own remix of Man's Not Hot. Now, in case you have not heard Man's Not Hot, you what's the word? You have been sleeping on a bicycle since 1952. Okay, so you may want to go check that out. I'm not going to do an ad for that. But let's move on. Now, before that, I said I was going to tell you, of course, what happened between Tonto Dike and Azuka Ogujuba. I think I pronounced that wrong. But let's move on from that one, okay? Just, pretend like you did not hear that mistake. Let's move on. Now, that's, of course, the picture of Tonto Dike and Azuka. Now, let me tell you what really happened. Okay, now Tonto Dike apparently lashed out at journalist Azuka Ogujuba for comments she made about her on the show Hot Topics. Now, Azuka on the show said that Tonto Dike lied about being abused by her ex-husband, that's Olakule Churchill. She had said that she had video evidence to back up her claims, which she arrived at after meeting with both Tonto Dike and her ex-husband at different times. Now, Tonto Dike on her Instagram on Wednesday said Azuka's claims are not true. She claims that Azuka was offered a lot of money to manipulate what she said, and she was indeed abused. You can, of course, follow the thread rolling on the screen right about now. Now, she posted a series of photos on her Instagram detailing what really happened. That's what you're seeing on your screen right now, including screenshots of the chats she had with Azuka with the caption, "Firstly, Azuka, you lured me into this interview. You used someone I respect a lot to convince me to talk about the marriage incidences. I finally succumbed to it because I felt that my story would help other women who face the same issues of domestic violence. It was never orchestrated, as you say. Secondly, one of your staff suggested that I cover the scar on my leg. I told you I was okay with the scar showing because it came as a result of domestic violence. Furthermore, Azuka, I told you several times about my faults in the whole incident. I never hid any of it. I told you I broke things in his house as a response to the violence I faced. So why would you try and use that against me, as if I did not openly admit and repent about it? As a matter of fact, I have attached the text messages between us. Try and deny." Now, she moved on to say that, "Azuka, you said yourself that Churchill offered you money to manipulate everything I said. Your assistant also admitted that Churchill offered her a large sum of money to manipulate the whole thing. You mentioned this in front of everybody there. Your staff, your cameramen, the makeup staff, my team members, and my brother. Don't dare deny this. I have several key people who were present there. Azuka, you said that Churchill showed you a video of me destroying things. Azuka, please release that video. Release everything that was captured on that CCTV camera from the beginning of the fight to the end of it without a second or minute missing. Please do this and vindicate your artist since we know that you manage him. Azuka, how dare you even say I lied? Were you there? Were you present in any of the incidences that occurred? Did you ever speak to my family that naturally would have taken sides with me just as he took sides with him? When you called me for a second interview to counter his own interview, what did I tell you? I said no, that this is not a fight I want to entertain, most especially because of my son. Isn't it funny that your boyfriend you sent to pick me from the airport is now flying around the country with Churchill? Coincidence. You said that you went to Ghana for an event and yada, 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 yada. All right, so basically the point is Journalist Azuka, I need to put journalist in front of it. Journalist Azuka apparently has came out on a particular show, Hot Topics, to say that Tonto Dike lied about the domestic violence issue. But what I don't understand is, I thought this story was dead and gone. You remember that song, Dead and Gone, Dead and Gone? I thought the story was dead and gone. I thought it was buried. Okay, why do we have to dig up old woods? Why do we have to, you know, why can we not just leave it as it is? Why do people always have to bring up, you know, things that are non-existent, things that people have forgotten? Why do we always do that? You know, let's forget about the fact that Tonto Dike may be wrong. Let's forget about the fact that her husband or ex-husband, Oladuni Churchill, may be wrong. Are you guys not thinking about the child? You know, I can imagine the child growing up and one day just deciding to go to Google and check up his father's name and then seeing all of these things. Are you thinking about the sky is going to make on the child? Or are you just thinking about how to make money for yourself and how to get more people on your blog? It should not be this way. Let us leave people. Let us leave their peace. Of course, I understand as a journalist as well, we of course investigate and we like to know things, but do not say things that are untrue. And also for Tonto Dike, Uche Jumbo's advice is just the best. Leave it alone. Okay, they say it takes two people to tango. It takes two people to fight. Okay, but if one person is talking and the other person is quiet, then you don't know if it's true or not, and eventually it fades away. Okay, so because I remember when Funke Akindele, that's Jennifer, and Toyo Baby, yeah, when they had this kind of issue, you know, one side just, or both sides actually kept quiet, and then they didn't reveal anything to us until they were fully ready to reveal it to us. Why can't everybody just be like that? All right, be like those guys, and then you will save a lot. You will save your image, you will save your face, and you will also save your sanity and your children. But let's move on. Now, this one is a very disturbing story. I have lived in this state before. I have seen things firsthand. Okay, but let's just talk about it. Now, this is about the Kogi State workers, Kogi State civil servants. They say our case is worse than the IDPs. They apparently are begging President Muhammadu Buhari to come to their aid. Now, workers in Kogi State have appealed to President. Okay, so I'm going to move on to this story. I don't know how to describe this story, okay, but it's something that I have seen firsthand, and I guess I will be able to relate to it because I have seen it firsthand. But it's about Kogi State civil servants, Kogi State workers. They say our case is worse than the IDPs. IDPs are the internally displaced people who have to live in shelters, and now they are saying that their case is worse than that, and they're apparently begging President Muhammadu Buhari to come to their aid. Now, workers in Kogi State have appealed to President Muhammadu Buhari to rescue them from their current hardship resulting from non-payment of their salaries by sending them food, drugs, and other materials. Says the workers made the appeal yesterday in Lokoja in a statement jointly issued by the state chapters of the NLC, TUC, and the Joint Public Service Negotiating Council, that's the JPSNC. Now, Olakunle Fani, Kolawole James, and Issa Abubakar, the secretaries of the NLC, TUC, and JPSNC, respectively signed the statement which was circulated to different media houses. According to them, they said President Buhari should direct the NEMA, that's the National Emergency Management Agency, and other humanitarian agencies to supply them food and relief materials. The civil servants said they were being owed between 11 and 21 months' salaries, and that the situation had adversely affected them and their families. They urged the presidency to consider the condition of their children who had been sent out of school because they could no longer pay their school fees. It said, and I quote, that the situation of workers in the state is worse than the condition of the internally displaced persons in various camps. The agony of the workers is not in any way less than the experiences of victims of natural disaster, a situation where workers cannot afford even 1 meal a day and pay the school fees of their children is already a humanitarian issue. As it stands today, over 30% of the workforce is owed 21 months' salary. 20% have unpaid salaries of between 11 and 18 months, while about 45% took their salaries up to June this year. These are the category of workers the Kogi State is forcing to embrace the clock-in, clock-out work policy. Now, they also implored the indigenous of the state at home and abroad to show concerns and assist in whatever form they could. Now, workers in the state apparently on September 22 embarked on an indefinite strike to press home their demand of payment of salary arrears. Now, they said that the government, the Kingsley Fund, a media aid to Governor Yahya Bello, said the government had yet to enter into negotiation with Labour over the demand because the signatories to the strike notice were unknown to the government. Okay, and he also said he faulted the Labour's claim on salary arrears, saying that they were out to misinform the public for selfish reasons and urged the workers to disregard the Labour's directive to go on strike but continue to work. I have lived in this state before, and I have seen these things happen in real life. Okay, I lived in this state around, I think, last year. Yeah, almost the whole of last year up until September. And I saw this real life. I saw a man who went to steal, you know, that small bag of semovita. He went to steal the small bag of semovita. And after stealing it, he had already left that place, you know, moved on like 20 steps. But then he could not just bring himself to take it home, to steal it. And he returned it to the person he stole from, and he was crying. And they asked him, why did you steal it in the first place? And he said, this man works in a ministry. His wife also works in a ministry. Okay, they are both civil servants. And he said that in their house, they have not eaten for 2 days. They have been drinking water for 2 days because his wife is a civil servant. He is also a civil servant. And they don't have any money to feed any longer. This was around, I'm thinking this was around July. The government had been owing them salaries from about December 2015. Okay, and what I don't understand is the fact that for every time the government will claim, they fault the Labour's claim on salary arrears, they will say they are out to misinform the public for selfish reasons. They are not out to misinform the public for selfish reasons. These are some of the things we need to open our eyes to in this country. Kogi State got the Paris Relief Fund. They got the money. What are they using the money for? Okay, because last year they were supposed to pay, and apparently they said they will have too many ghost workers in Kogi State and people should come, you know, for something exercise just to show that they are not ghost workers. And it just keeps going on and on and on. Okay, lecturers in the Kogi State University were paid. They were not paid fully, but they were paid some months, reasonable amount of months. But then the lecturers in the Kogi State Polytechnic were not paid. Okay, it's more like they prioritize the need of some people over some people. The doctors in the hospitals, Kogi State, the state hospital were paid. But people in the ministry have not been paid. The people that have been paid 20% of their salary, 15% of their salary. Somebody was paid ridiculously low, 10% of their salary. I mean, what is this happening? What is the federal government doing to this? Okay, governors should be held in check. People in authority should be put in check for the things they do. The state has received the relief fund. What are they using it for? But this is just from the Kogi State people. But let's move on. I also saw this one yesterday. I saw it on the news and I decided to bring it up because, of course, we need to stay informed. Don't mind me that I've been talking serious issues all along. We'll, of course, still move to the funny ones. Now, it says Nigeria pulls out of 90 international organizations. Out of 310 they are part of. How many of you knew that Nigeria was part of 310 international organizations? I will bet that most of you only knew that Nigeria was part of the United Nations. All right, now it says the federal government has decided to pull Nigeria out of 90 world organizations. Now, the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, announced the government's decision while speaking with State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja. That was on September 27. Now, according to her, the decision to exit the organization is as a result of the financial implications of joining the organization. She said, and I quote, Nigeria is a member of 310 international organizations, and a committee was set up to review the rationale for our continued membership of such a large number of organizations, particularly in the light of the fact that in many cases we are not actually paying financial obligations and subscriptions, which is causing some embarrassment to Nigeria and our image abroad. She said it was discussed that there were commitments made to some international organizations by the former government which were not cash backed. Now, Nigeria owes the organizations over $100 million, and its failure to meet the obligation has caused the nation much embarrassment. Adeosun said the federal government's plan for Nigeria to belong only to organizations that are absolutely necessary. Now, I see this as a step in the right direction. Let us stop wasting money on things that we don't need to waste money on. But let's move on to talk about a lawsuit. Now, we've been hearing about Atiku Abubakar. That's the former vice president of Nigeria. Now, this is just out to all of the bloggers who are watching. Don't carry fake news. please, please, and please do not carry fake news. Do not post fake news. Do not post news if you are not sure where it is emanating from. I have said this over and over and over again on the show. Apparently now, the former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, is very angry over a news report published by Vanguard, and he has threatened to sue them for the fake news. The news story with the headline, IPOB loath or love Kanu, he has fought better, Atiku, has been refuted by Atiku's media office, and he tweeted, "This is the most disrespectful act I have seen from a news organization. This news is fake, and my lawyers will be writing to Vanguard." Okay, this is not the first time. At a particular time, Sahara reporters were supposed to, what's the word? They were also sued. They were also sued for carrying fake news, and now Vanguard has been sued. So the moral behind this story is just to tell all the bloggers and whoever is watching not to carry fake news. Please, please, and please, you have been warned. Do not post things that you are unsure about. But let's move on to other stories. Now, this one I found it very, very funny. All of you remember Debbie Rice from the Big Brother house. I totally remember her when Big Brother says Debbie Rice, please rise. I totally remember that word. Now, she said something really hilarious. Now, she said her parents tried to deliver her and cast out demons from her when she returned from Big Brother Naija. Very funny, okay? You know, her parents apparently are people of God, I think pastors or deacons or something like that. So basically, and she said she had to convince her dad to let her go into the competition by promising him that at the end of the competition, people will congratulate him for being a good dad. Now, when he found out about the competition, it was not funny. All right, now, she said she's happy, you know, with how he has accepted it and all of that. And she revealed that her parents tried to deliver her and cast out demons when she went for a competition. She said, and I quote, "When I went for my homecoming, yes, they still asked me to kneel down and try to deliver me and cast out demons." After all of the things, you know, that happened in the Big Brother house, I will not be surprised. But let's move on to this one before we take another break. This is coming from Skooky. Skooky from Pishao. You all know that song. I'm not going to sing it on here. And I saw this one just immediately after I finished Hot Naija just the other time. I decided to, you know, of course, bring it to y'all. I saw the post on, I saw it on a particular blog. Now, and I'm going to read it for you. Now, apparently, somebody mentioned Skooky on Twitter and wrote at Skooky Pishao, "You wore the same jacket in August. You are wearing it again in September. SMH." Skooky replied, and I totally like this one. "Celebrities refuse to be shamed because they are human beings like us." He said, "That jacket cost me 429.99 euros. That's 207,000 naira. And you expect me to wear it only once, so who kill you?" Why? What is it with people apparently shaming other people? Although I do it too. I saw a particular video of Rick Hassani, you know, releasing a particular song, wearing a particular jacket. And the next song after that one, he was wearing that same jacket. It's like, what is it? Allow this jacket to rest now. You know, I think the opinion is this. If you do this, if you wear this jacket for song number 1, wear another jacket for song number 2. Then you can feel free to wear that jacket for song number 3. It's just like I'm coming on the show today. I am wearing this particular, somebody called it a nurse uniform. I am wearing this particular outfit. And I come on the show tomorrow again. And I still wear this outfit. And I come on the show next tomorrow and I still wear this outfit. Won't you people be looking for my Instagram handle to tell me, "Auntie, I'll do, I'll see your clothes"? But basically, yeah, that's that one. That was just, you know, off the point. That was just to make you all laugh. Now, I, of course, at the beginning of the show said that Tunde Ednot, you know, has waded into the issue between Peter and Paul, that's P Square. And he says, he reacted to the video. Most of all of you have seen the video. I cannot play the video on here because it, of course, has curse words in it. So I cannot play the video on here. But taking to Instagram, Tunde Ednot said it was the total end of P Square. And he blamed Peter for releasing the explosive video. He wrote on Instagram, he said, "Peter and Paul P Square, enough is enough. I have never posted anything about this fight. For Peter to release this video, I just feel shy and sad. There is no coming back from this. I think this is the total end of P Square. I am ashamed and sad. Peter should not drop this video." But Peter has dropped the video. What are you going to do about it? Okay, so that's just that one from Tunde Ednot. I just, you know, felt like I had to bring it on. But we'll take a break. I saw this guy. If you all have noticed, you noticed that I really like this Mr. Hyena because he's hilarious. And now I saw this one on Fouls the Bad Guy's page. Apparently, we have a Fouls the Bad Guy #2. But this one is not Fouls the Bad Guy. It's Fausa the Bad Guy. So we'll go on and see Fausa the Bad Guy. You'll be surprised. It looks so much like Faust. We'll go on and see Fausa the Bad Guy, and we'll come back and Hot Naija Gist will continue. Stay with us.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I love celebrities, Nigerian celebrities, and musicians are crazy, man. It's an opportunity to meet Faust one-on-one. Oh my God, Faust, I'm a big fan. See, you're something like KBC, some talk. You just get wide on, sir. Faust. Tell people you enjoy my comedy. Oh my.
I miss all my celebrity in KD. In Nigeria, this is first the bad guy. Second first the bad guy in KD.
No, this one is Fausa the bad guy. Nice one. I wish you the best in the industry, okay? Faust, now me blow Faust. I will help you. You know, I will help you. You will blow in this industry, okay? But you will find me something before you blow.
Yeah.
Okay?
I could not help it. I'm so sorry, but that was Fausa the Bad Guy. You guys are seeing for yourself. Piracy is taking on another level. We're no longer pirating songs. We're no longer pirating movies. We're not, would I call this impersonation? We're not pirating people themselves. I think Nigeria is taking it to the next step to start developing clothes. But that was, of course, Fausa the Bad Guy. It was nice meeting you, Fausa the Bad Guy. But that's, apparently, that guy is, he lives in Kaduna. I think he's the Kaduna Fouls the Bad Guy. So in case you see any concert, any concert handbill in Kaduna, and they tell you that Fouls the Bad Guy is coming to perform, just know that you see Fausa the Bad Guy. But let's move on. Let's move on to more stories. No time left. I saw this one, Forbes magazine. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I brought to you that apparently, according to a report, it said Lagos is the 3rd worst city to live in. Yes, it was a particular report from, I think, BBC. Can't really remember. And this is also another one now coming from Forbes magazine. They say Lagos is the 3rd worst city for drivers. According to the magazine, the list of the 10 worst cities in the world for driving, was brought out, and Lagos, Nigeria, makes the 3rd position, as you can see right there. On the first position, we have Kolkata in India, 69% congestion and 11.20 mph average speed. Karachi in Pakistan, 59% congestion, 11.20 mph average speed. Lagos, Nigeria, 60% congestion, 10.70 mph average speed. Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, 65% congestion, 21.80 mph average speed. Mumbai in India, 67% congestion, 8.10 mph average speed. Bangalore in India, 64% congestion, 14.90 mph average speed. Bogota in Colombia, 48% congestion, 12.50 mph average speed. Mexico City, Mexico, 66% congestion, 17.50 mph average speed. Istanbul, Turkey, 49% congestion and 11.80 mph average speed. So apparently, Lagos is like the 3rd worst country to drive in. The 3rd worst city, rather, to drive in the whole of the world. And for those of you who live in Lagos, you can tell stories of Lagos and traffic. Traffic in Lagos can be terrible. The worst part is when you eventually get stuck in traffic, and when you eventually get to the front, you cannot see what is causing the traffic. Nothing is causing the traffic. I went to Lagos a couple of weeks ago, and the traffic was massive. We are not even entered into Lagos. It was on the expressway. The traffic was massive. And on getting to the front, do you know we didn't see anything? There was nothing causing the traffic. And then, we just went on smoothly. But let me quickly drop this one, still on the P-Square saga. Apparently on Instagram, Paul Okoye has unfollowed Lola Omotayo. Lola Omotayo is the wife of Peter. Paul Okoye has unfollowed her on Instagram, but Lola is still following him. That's just by the way. Okay, guys, but Monday, October 2nd is a public holiday. It has been declared by the federal government to celebrate the 57th independence anniversary. I know lots of people will be happy. School children will be happy, of course, because Independence Day is falling on Sunday. But the federal government has declared Monday, October 2nd, 2017 as a public holiday to commemorate the 57th independence anniversary. The Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambazoa, retired, announced in a statement released on September 27th. On behalf of the government, he congratulated Nigerians on the anniversary and urged everyone to sustain the collective efforts towards maintaining and strengthening the unity of the country. Apparently, I still have a couple of stories on the P-Square saga, but I really don't feel like I should take it. I feel like we have had enough of P-Square. Let them go and rest, okay? Let them go and rest and have their fun, because they have split up. People, of course, there was a Twitter poll asking who, caused the fight. There was a Twitter poll. There was a poll on Twitter, and apparently the highest on the poll was the wives. The lowest on the poll was Paul. The second highest was Jude, who is actually their brother, and the one after that was actually Peter. Peter had 7%, Jude had 5%, the wives had 46%. Okay, no, Paul had 5%, Jude had 42%, and the wives had 46%. Okay, so that's that about P-Square. Now, I've been seeing some videos, and this is going to be the last that I'm going to take. Okay, so I have been seeing some pictures on Instagram. I don't know what they're about. I think it's the date with your car or something challenge. I've been seeing different pictures, hilarious ones. I saw this first one. It's going to be showing you on the screen right about now, of this guy who was with his Bentley, who was with his car, and he had a glass of drink right there on the way. This is a copycat of that particular, the first picture, but as the pictures are scrolling, you see the remaining pictures. This is also, I think this one is the Abule Egba version. This is the Abule Egba version of the date with your car. Other versions, of course, are still there. Now, the one on the left is actually, well, my left, maybe your right, is actually the original one. That's the island version. That was the first one. But this other one is the copycat version. Now, let us check the Ojuelegba version. This is the Ojuelegba version of a date with Bay. All right, these guys apparently, they say you use what you have. Okay, so they are basically using what they have. This has been going on Instagram. I really don't know why, but that's just it. And I'm calling the wrap on the show today. It's been fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will be back on Monday. Yes, Monday. Promise I'll be back on Monday. All right, so make sure you have fun and enjoy yourself. I'll be signing out with a funny video. If you don't understand how to speak English, you may just want to, of course, always clarify things before you do stuff. All right, so let's watch this last video from Mr. Hainana. But on this note, I'm signing out. I'm Bolanle. It's been so much fun. If you have any stories that you'll, of course, like to call my attention to, make sure you tag me on Instagram. Tag me on those stories on Instagram. And, of course, bring it on the show. Thank you so much for staying with me. Bye.
You see, if you can't speak simple English, then don't speak English simple. Because this morning when I woke up, my landlady, she's an illiterate, and you know about people. So and well, I saw her jumping. She was not happy, overexcited, and I was like, "Oh, landlady, good morning. Why you jumping? Why you overexcited?" She now said that her cousin that she told me about 5 months ago, he has been in coma 5 months. That this morning that he had that the guy is weak. And I said, "Oh, the guy is weak." I was happy too, because me, I already you can do me. Thank God he has weak. So why you now this jet? Because he was tying all the gear and everything as if she was going to a party. Why you now this jet? He said, what kind of talk is that? Me, I tell you that somebody has weak. She was looking at me, I'm going for his wake keeping. Why will you go for wake keeping for somebody that just woke from coma? Don't ever try this. If you don't understand English, then English will never understand you.